Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Now for today's video, I wanted to talk about the canceled Jurassic World comic book series that we were supposed to get a really long time ago. So for those of you who may be unaware, the Jurassic Park series actually has quite an extensive history when it comes to comics. I covered most of these stories between 2017 and 2018 before the release of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, which was pretty fun due to how much stuff Steven Spielberg clearly liked in those old books for later incarnations of JP4 and Jurassic World. Sadly, when it comes to the new era of Jurassic entertainment, comic stories are nowhere to be found. And you can't really get too much of the narrative without looking at viral marketing websites outside of the movies. This makes the IP, in my opinion, severely underutilized, and I think a lot of fans feel some sort of similar way. But hey, it wasn't always supposed to be like this. You see, way back in 2016, after the surprise blockbuster success of Jurassic World, Universal began to really look into giving the film series the proper franchise treatment again. This would have included some new stories that were going to be made by IDW featuring the new theme park. Now, IDW had previously done 3 separate Jurassic Park stories before 2015. These were Redemption, Devils in the Desert, and Dangerous Games, respectively, all of which led to some pretty mixed reviews to say the least. However, hopes were high for that upcoming Jurassic World release. Well, that was a total of 4 years ago now, and here we all stand in 2020 with absolutely no new Jurassic comics to talk about whatsoever, which is a really big bummer in my opinion, because behind the scenes, I'd heard some pretty cool and interesting things about this comic series, mainly an idea that it was supposed to be something titled Jurassic World Origins that obviously would have taken place before the events of the 2015 film. Then again, I've also heard rumors that IDW may have been in the process of adapting something closer to the Fallen Kingdom story, but hey, it never came out, so who's to say what it could have been? With nothing ever really materializing from the company, I think it's safe to say, for the time being anyway, that it is most definitely canceled. The main reason this bums me out is obviously due to the fact that we don't really have that much as far as Jurassic content outside of what the new movies give us. So seeing a potential new canon experience canned once again behind the scenes wasn't exactly that fun to hear about. But honestly, one of my personal biggest disappointments about this series never coming out is just the fact that Jurassic Park used to have some really, and I do mean really, interesting comic runs back in the 90s. Now, of course, this was before IDW had their hands on the series, but hey, back when Topps was writing stuff for Jurassic, we had a lot of really cool material to read over in a completely separate continuity. The Topps storyline started off just as you might expect, with the events of Jurassic Park being canon to its timeline. However, 3 days after the events of the initial Nublar incident, Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler would return to the island in order to help the United States military contain all of the escaped animals and get things back under control. This story would eventually lead to a big game hunter from Africa known as George Lawala venturing to the island in order to steal Velociraptor infants, followed by a massive expedition on the mainland that would result soon after. This whole story saw the return of prominent characters like Ian Malcolm, John Hammond, and even Robert Muldoon when everything was said and done. It even got a sequel titled Return to Jurassic Park, where Biosyn and the United States military got involved with a pretty crazy conspiracy that was taking place on the island. What I'm really trying to say is, none of this kind of writing or world building is present in any of the new comics that Jurassic World has ever released because, well, Jurassic World hasn't really released any new comics, have they? It's true that we did get some free motion comics on YouTube a few months ago, but that is a very different story from what I'm talking about us having here. Who knows, maybe someday IDW will come through and release some of the stuff they've had written for Jurassic World Origins or whatever the title might have been. But for now, we don't really have any new content readily available in that format as of this present day. Now before I go, I'd like to thank all of my game wardens, as well as all of my InGen executives. I'd also like to thank all of my park workers and InGen hunters as well. Guys, it seriously means the world to me that you all continue to support what I do, and I never want you to ever forget that. Now, I'd like to thank you all for watching today's video, and hope that you all enjoyed the content. If you feel like I deserve it, I'd appreciate the like and hope that you'll consider subscribing if you're interested in hearing from me again. I'll see you all in the next video, guys, and as always, take it easy.